Hello and welcome back to Bug Rounds. On this channel we like to discuss all things creepy crawly, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now before I get on with this video, I want to give a massive shout out to both Rob and Carl for becoming my newest patrons. Thank you so much. Your support means a tremendous amount to me. If anyone else would like to further support my channel too, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description below. I'm sorry if you hear any annoying background noise. I have to have my window open now. This room is scorching. There'll be cars, there'll be talking. Enough. Anyway, so long story short guys, I got a free tarantula, which is actually just in here. I'm not sure how well you can see it from that angle. I'll turn him around so you can see. Now this is Bruce. That is the name that this tarantula was given before. I believe it to be unsexed, but even if it's a female, we will remain to call this tarantula Bruce. Now Bruce is what I believe to be a Grammostola porteri, but it could potentially be a rosea. I'm going to be honest, Grammostolas are not something I really know much about, but all in all it is a Chilean rose as the common name. Now when we get a closer look at this, like I said, I think it's a porteri. However, if one of you thinks I'm incorrect on that, please comment below, because I would love to know 100% if I've got a porteri or a rosea. So this is the enclosure and the setup of how Bruce came. So what I'm going to be doing is taking Bruce out of here, cleaning and sprucing up this enclosure, and yeah, popping him back in. So massive thank you to my colleague at work, I won't mention any names on here as I haven't got permission to do so, for allowing me to have Bruce. Let's crack on and get him sorted, shall we? So this is Bruce. You can see that beautiful pinkish carapace there, and he has a slight pink body, but it's more of a grey colour with slightly rosy hairs on there. So what I'm going to be doing is cupping up Bruce to take him out of this enclosure, and then we're going to spruce it up. Oh, he made me jump. Now these are pretty docile tarantulas, however there are some Chile roses that do have a bad temperament. So don't just think because you've bought a beginner species tarantula that it's going to be completely docile. Although Bruce hasn't shown any signs of actual aggression, more just what's going on, I'm going to try and slightly nudge him over so that he makes his own way onto the cardboard. Oh dear. Not really in the mood for walking right now. Come on Bruce. Come on. That's it. Move your legs, move your legs, move your legs. There we go. So Bruce is of a pretty decent size here. What I'm going to be doing is actually placing him into, sorry my phone's going off, this is a video full of distractions today. I'm going to be popping him into another enclosure for now, and then we'll get this one spruced up. Bye Bruce. Now just as a tip for you folks at home, this to me looks like the Spider Life substrate, quite often sold by pet shops, telling people to purchase that one as the best substrate. Completely actually unnecessary. Most of it I find is actually just an excuse for them to make money. So plain cocoa fibre is fine enough. Let's get this clean. Few bits of substrate left in the corner, but overall clean. So now we're going to add our substrate. Put back in Bruce's hide. I'm going to try and bury this in a little bit. It's quite a large hide, but I want him to feel still as home as he did. He's been in here a while. But to stop any light getting in, I'm going to try and fill the back. As you might have seen, I've brushed off this hide but I haven't completely thoroughly cleaned it because it contained parts of Bruce's webbing, and I want him to still feel like this is his home. Now we're just going to pop in a few bit of leafy decoration for him here. It will slightly cover the hide there as well. Now, being a Grammostola, he wouldn't normally like the substrate being this damp. This was actually hydrated about, we're going back about 3 weeks ago now. I should have really put it in an aera or something to dry it out a bit more. So I'm going to add a thin layer of drier substrate on the top so that he feels happier, and grab a water dish. Now I had very little of this dry substrate left, that's why I didn't just use it. And I don't normally like these kinds of water dishes, I find they dry far too quickly. But he's a special gift, so he'll have a special looking water dish. Got to be cautious to make sure I keep topping that up. And last but not least, some old dried oak leaf litter, just for added touch. So, what do you think, guys? Think it looks a little bit better? All we've got left to do now is add Bruce back into his enclosure. So, here's Bruce. Still been very, very calm. Hasn't even tipped this cup over. I placed this in another enclosure and it's been absolutely fine. Now, I'd like him ideally to move up the cup a little bit. So what I'm going to do is tilt it slightly to try and get his legs in. Now I would normally use a straw to just tap him in, but I knew it would be easy enough. Finally, dude. He is truly, truly beautiful though, right? Look at those colours. This is actually my first Grammostola in my collection. Not a genus I was particularly interested in before, but it grew on me, and I mentioned that to Beth from Beth's Pets with Arachnobeth, and she actually purchased me Grammostola pulchripes. So massive thanks to Beth. We'll show that in a future video. It's just a tiny sling, but my interest in the Grammostolas is definitely growing. So my plan was make a nice easy video for myself for you guys today by using such a docile new world such as Bruce. Unfortunately, it's actually been one of the toughest videos I've done because I know you've heard an awful lot of background noise, guys, or at least I can hear it. I won't know that till the editing, but I've actually been recording this every time I get a quiet moment. This recording has actually taken me almost an hour, just because I've been waiting for the right moments of quiet to start recording, and then the background noise hits again. But if I close my window, this room will get too stuffy for all my animals in the heat that it is right now. So I'd rather have a pain in the bum video than have my animals suffer. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is leave Bruce for 2 days to settle in, and then I'll come back to you and let you know how he's doing. I will attempt a feed in a couple of days, but as you can see, he's got a very large abdomen, and I know he went through a long fast and then ate just before he came to me, so we may not get a takedown, but at least you can appreciate the beauty of this tarantula. Let's flip forward in time. So it's now been a few days, and Bruce spends a lot of his time up in this section here. I think because if we turn this just this way, you can see that some of the substrate is still a little damper down that side and is dried up around the edge of his hide up here. Once that has dried out fully, he'll be happy to then wander on down here. So I'm not sure if he will take to a feed. I know I say that a lot, but you can never be sure. He's got quite a large bum still at the moment. So we're just going to use a smaller red runner here and see if he'll take to it. There we go. So there's Bruce. Actually has the red runner in its fangs, although we might not be able to pick that up here, but certainly munching away. You can see some slight movement there. You've got to love the pink on the carapace of these tarantulas. Oh, it is truly stunning. Now he has got to be, oh, you can see the roach in there. Now he has got to be the most beginner tarantula I have in my entire collection. Not because of him being a Grammostola porteri or possibly rosea, but just because of the temperament of this particular specimen. So guys, what's your favourite Grammostola? Pop me a message in the comments below. I'd like to hear all about it. Look at that. Even gentle in its eating. Oh, we got a bit of the roach's head there. There's some fang. I always like to try and get a piece of fang in my footage, and I didn't think I'd get one from old Brucey here. Again, Bruce may well be a girl. It's of a decent size, but it's going to be named Bruce all the same. Well, I think it's time we leave Bruce to finish its supper and leave the video as it stands. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you would like to give me further support on my channel for the upkeep of my inverts and new inverts and upgrading my equipment, I do have a Patreon page. The link to that will be in my description below. And I also have a merchandising page that's worth checking out with random limited edition tees available. So it's a goodbye from me and a goodbye from Bruce. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye bye.